Hola, mis amores. You know that one of my goals for this year was trying to read more ban or challenge books. And you know that I got a bunch of them, and I decided to start in January, like picking one book a month, so I can read something that has been banned or challenged in one of the 50 states. So my first pick, for some weird reason, because I just picked from the pile, it was this gem. 1984 by George Orwell. And let me tell you something. I, I went in blind, kind of, because you know already that you're gonna see some dystopian things happening here. I never read the book before, so it was new to me. So I started reading. I did it with also the audiobook. And wow, Big Brother. And some of the parts of the book that I was reading, they just resonated with whatever Twilight timeline we're living right now. And it's kind of scary when you say it that way. And then thinking about the time that this book was written, and you just like, well, I think we haven't learned. Even though it was a fiction, you know, it was fictional, still we are doing the same thing over and over again and we don't learn. So let's go a little bit into the story. So this is a dystopian society that we're living in. People are just fed information through the news, and they take everything that is said on the news, on that telecompu, whatever they call it. I forgot the name. They they see as through. So they think it's real. Everything that they say in there is real, but they don't even know if what they're saying is real. And there's one part that the protagonist is conscious of what they're saying on the TV. And this, for example, there was one scene that they were talking about chocolate, and they reduced the amount of chocolate that every family was getting because of the war. And then a couple of days later, they say on the news that the whatever battle that they were facing, they won, and because of that they were raising the amount of chocolate to celebrate. And when they say the amount, like when they reduce, it was like, I think it was like 20% for each one of the families. And then they say, oh, we're raising it to 20% for everybody to celebrate because we done this like amazing thing. And people are celebrating, and they're just screaming and happy and whatnot. And the protagonist is like, wait a second, uh, are people not understanding that they already reduced them to 20% and they're celebrating that we're getting 20%, so it's already what we had. They're not giving us anything extra. It's just what we had. What do are people do people don't remember? What's going on? So again, we talk about government having, control of the news. They're having control of what you consume, what you can see, what is going out there. Like every time that someone goes against the government, they're erased. Like literally, they're erased. They're also giving the people some type of, they put it as vitamins or something to help you out, to feel better. And the protagonist is thinking that it may be something that messes up with your memories. So it's a whole thing. And one of the things that they're keeping people without emotions. So some of that like kind of makes sense. If you're not emotional, if you don't show emotion, like you just take whatever they say, you don't question anything. So that's the main plot in here. And when the protagonist and the female character are caught up at one point of the book doing something that is illegal but actually is really natural, they're pinned against each other, because apparently loving each other is kind of illegal at that point, because they have to love Big Brother. That's who you need to love. So it was a really emotional roller coaster. You see a lot of things that may don't they don't seem like important, or they don't seem like a lot, but for the protagonist it was a lot. And at the end of the book, you're distraught, you're like broken, because they did break him, they did, you know, do something that is irreversible for him. And he will never be the same person, and he knows this, and he's just drowning himself in liquor. And it's just like he gave up. And oh Lord, I hope that we never give up on anything that we truly believe in, uh, like this character did. But there's a lot. Like, this is the simplest way that I can give it to you, that I can share it with you. But there's a lot to unpack on this book. It's more deep than what I just said. This is just a glimpse, a snapshot, if you want to say that, of what this book really, how deep this book is. Like, you have to really like dissect the book to understand it, and to actually, get to the point that you're like, holy macaroni, this is something that can happen for real. Just saying. So, 1984, George Orwell. And if someone wants to do like a discussion and read, I'm all for it. I'm all for it, because this book like took me for a ride. I even stopped annotating because I was so engrossed of what I was reading that I couldn't even annotate. Just to give you, I was shocked about the whole book. And the thing that most like shocked me, it was the time that it was written, and how it just makes sense right now. It just makes sense. So hey, if someone is up for it, I will gladly have a chat with you, because this book was amazing. I loved it. And you got me at dystopian. So if you have any other recommendations of books that I should read, drop it in the comments, because I'm all for it. So this is my first review of the first book of the Ban and Challenge books on 2025. Bye.